I mean, really, what can I say? The Witcher 3 is one of the best video games of all time. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of MavAttack. Now, I was sitting down the other day thinking The Witcher 3 was my game of the year for 2015, right? So really, I just wanted to sit down today and talk about The Witcher 3 because I never got to just sit down and talk about my experience and why this game is just so amazing to me. So just to kick things off, if you haven't gotten the chance to play The Witcher 3, or it doesn't look interesting to me, or I'm not into those types of games,
go fucking play the game.
do yourself a favor, try the game out, watch a walkthrough, something. You need to see the game. So if you don't know what The Witcher 3 is really about, or any of the Witcher games really, because you can play 3 and not really know about the other two, like myself. The Witcher is a next generation, open world, narrative driven role-playing game. I know that's a freaking mouthful. It is set in a visually stunning fantasy universe, and it presents to you meaningful choices and very impactful consequences for your actions. So in the Witcher games, and specifically The Witcher 3, you star as Geralt of Rivia, who is a monster hunter that is tasked with finding a child that is all entwined in this ancient prophecy. The story gets pretty crazy. So that's just a synopsis of the game. If you don't know about it, you play as this badass monster hunter with these special powers. So me personally, I've never played a Witcher game before The Witcher 3. I've seen it before. I've seen a few friends live stream The Witcher 2. I've heard about it. I've seen some gameplay, but I never actually got my hands on it. And I was very skeptical. Very skeptical. Is this gonna be my type of game? Am I gonna be into this? So my beginning thoughts of The Witcher, I started The Witcher 3 doing a walkthrough actually, and I canceled the walkthrough a few parts in. I was like, you know what? This game is supposed to have like 35 multiple different endings. There's absolutely no freaking way that I'm gonna be able to record this game and not get fatigued of doing a full-on walkthrough on the channel. And not only that, but it wasn't getting the amount of support I wanted it to at the beginning, but that's neither here or there. So after canceling the walkthrough, I got a decent way into the game, did a few side missions, did some gameplay videos, which I absolutely love. I feel like those are some of my best gameplay videos to date, but I played a little bit of it and kind of gave it a rest. I wasn't really feeling it, wasn't getting into it. And I guess not only that, but games were coming out around that same time, and there was a lot of different games to play, and so I was like jumping around, and simply stated, I missed out on a lot of hours that I could have invested even more into the game that I already did. The 300 plus hours that I spent in the game, I could have invested more time, and I needed to, honestly, because there's that much content within the game. It's absolutely crazy. So I got back into it. I took the time to read in-game stuff, learn the lore, learn about some of the enemies that are in the game. So I just took the time to learn the game. That's the most important thing, is taking the time to learn the game and getting past the I don't know much about this and it's very overwhelming, there's tons of shit. You just got to get into it. You have to jump into it to take full advantage of what the game offers you, right? So the true moment, the real turning point that I had in The Witcher that turned it from this is a fun game to
Yeah.
the Bloody Baron side quest. Now, you've probably heard about this from your favorite YouTuber or IGN or somewhere. You've probably heard about the Bloody Baron if you've heard about The Witcher 3. It's pretty much common knowledge now to know about that. Now, if you don't know what the Bloody Baron is, it's a side quest that ties into a main quest that's kind of necessary to boost the main quest forward. So you're kind of stuck at the main quest, you do a side quest, and it loops back around to the main quest. So ultimately, in a way, it takes side quests and main quests and just intertwines them. And not only that, but the decision making and the consequences for your actions in this side quest weigh very heavily in the game. And this is the first instance, the first time that you get a real glance of the storytelling and the ultimate create your own adventure, actions have consequences vibe of this game, right? So there's this man named the Bloody Baron. He is in search of his wife and daughter and cannot find them anywhere in the kingdom. They ran away because later down the road you find out that he was abusive to the mother. The daughter and the mother couldn't stand for it and they took off. So in the middle of this whole intertwined, messed up situation that you find yourself in, you'll meet the daughter, the wife, and ultimately the Bloody Baron. So through a series of side events, you're ended up with the task of deciding whether you want to save these children at this village or if you want to release this being and then they go wreck all the children at the village. Ultimately, the Bloody Baron can either live or die based on your consequences, and it's a very impactful decision that is made in the game. And it is the first instance in the game that really tells you need to make sure that you are making the right choices, the right decisions. You can still be a scumbag, don't get me wrong, but ultimately if you make a decision there will be an impact of that, whether it be positive or negative. And it is that mechanic, that simple mechanic in the game that resonates so deeply with me. The decision making in the side quests and the main quest and the branching dialogue paths that you have just with different NPCs, it really resonates with me. Like, that is ultimate gaming, giving you player freedom, player choice. I just absolutely love it. Aside from the graphics, because the graphics look amazing, this is the standard of what next generation games need to look like on a base level. Like, if we're going into the future of gaming, this needs to be on the base level of what your graphics should look like. Not only that, you know, Geralt of Rivia, he will grow on you, right? So I started off really disliking him. I was like, oh, Geralt is just boring, he's so dull. But you slowly learn that he has a really dark, twisted, and sarcastic ass sense of humor, which I absolutely appreciate. Not only that, but you can end up liking him or even loving him from the decisions that you make and the reactions that he has to the world, to his fellow protagonist, and to the antagonist. He can tell jokes, he can be a fucking asshole, and he can actually help people out. So there's truly a lot that goes into this game, and this is not even scratching the surface. And I also appreciate The Witcher for its role-playing elements. There's a lot of role-playing games that come out and they're very dumbed down. They have a very dumbed down role-playing system from what they used to be, but The Witcher brings it back in, still has you crunching numbers, saying, oh, is this sword gonna be better than this sword? If I add this oil to this certain blade, is it gonna be good against this type of enemy? That is a huge and important step in a role-playing game. And I will really just take the time right now and say that The Witcher 3, for me personally, is going to be not only the standard for role-playing games that come out in the future, but the standard for next-generation games. The open world is not empty. There's plenty to do and explore in the open world, and that makes a great open world. Dynamic side quests, dynamic things to be exploring and finding out. You know, one second you could be roaming through the woods or on a trail on your horse and all of a sudden find a carriage flipped over. Somebody's getting harassed and you gotta go help them. Or somebody needs a side mission where you have to go rescue their brother that got lost at the cave. But once you go in the cave, you find out that there's a werewolf harming the whole town, and you didn't know about this. So you go back and talk to the townspeople, and they're like, I don't know shit. So there's a conspiracy, and you're just like, what? What did I...
What?
And the story, I love the story. It's very narrative heavy, but there's so many decisions that you can make, and the story goes up and down. It has its slopes, and it really makes you feel like I'm along for this long-ass ride. This story takes you from your high points to your low points. It will even make you feel like the game ended at certain points, and it didn't even end. The last time I played a game that did that was Alien Isolation. You feel like the game is going to end. You're like, oh shit. Oh shit. It's the final countdown. So in conclusion, because I know I've just been talking, rambling, but I'm really passionate about this game. I really came to the realization that this is one of the best video games to ever be in human existence ever, and it has to be in my top 5 favorite games of all time. In existence, it has to be at this point. I'm sitting there thinking about the experiences that I had in this game, all the side quests, all the different things that I went through. I wish I could have saved these moments and recorded these things, because there's just so many instances where I was like, wow, that happened. We did that. And now we're completely moving on. It's as if you played the game and different eras of your life have passed, and different scenarios in your life have passed, and you're just looking back on them like, that happened. And that happened. I mean, really, what can I say? The Witcher 3 is one of the best video games of all time. Like, it is literally one of the best video games that you could ever get your hand on. Even if you're not a fan of third-person games, even if you're not a fan of open-world games, even if you're not a fan of role-playing games that have a little bit of inventory management, some skills, it does have a difficulty slider, so you can play really easy or really just fuck me up. And let me just quickly say before I wrap this up, round of applause to CD Projekt Red, the developers of The Witcher 3. They are constantly pushing out updates for this game, pushing out free content, letting people know that they are supporting this game with free content. And not only that, in the game there's this full-fledged playing card system, so there's actually a real physical card deck. You can play Gwent in real life is what it's called. It's called Gwent. And you can actually go out and purchase Gwent cards and play this card game in real life. But CD Projekt Red have been working religiously on the 2 DLCs that are coming in the Season Pass. That's Hearts of Stone, which is a 10-hour adventure that has you going into the hearts of No Man's Land and Oxenfurt, and even the newer one that was announced to be even better than the base game, to give you a full 30-hour experience called Blood and Wine. And speaking of Blood and Wine, when this does release, The Witcher 3 is making a return on MavAttack, because I absolutely loved running around through the wild and playing it for you guys. The Witcher 3 will be making a return to MavAttack. I'm hoping to make some more entertaining gameplay for you guys of that new expansion that will be coming out in the future. But thank you guys all so much for watching this episode of MavAttack. I know it was a little more chill episode, but this is literally something that was on my mind. I'm like, you know, let me just flip the camera on, let me just get my notes, and let's just chat about it, because this game is absolutely amazing. Gameplay mechanics feel good enough to have you coming back for more every single time. The Witcher is absolutely fantastic. If you ever hear somebody bad-mouthing The Witcher, you tell them that they're not a fucking gamer, man. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of MavAttack. If you did, please be sure to attack that like button. As always, I do appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so very much. All you hear Mav stay rad, and all you see Mav stay fab, and I will see you guys all on the next episode of MavAttack. Must be the money. If you wanna go and get high with me in 3. Listen. Yeah, we back up in the kitchen. Yeah, I'm back up on a mission.